Go live. Do, 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 do. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tai Chi Tuesday. I'm sorry I was just a few minutes late. I was trying to get everything set up in the office. Let me know how the sound is. If you're on, just say hi. Let me know that you can hear me. As I said, I have to rearrange all the furniture in my office when I do these. So, let's try and get this. There we go. Let's get this set here. Make sure. I can't really see if I'm in frame or not. Let me push this back just a little bit. Aim down. And I think I am, or well enough. Ta-da! Tai Chi Tuesday. It's been quite a month since the last Tai Chi Tuesday. I have actually gone back to in-person classes. So that's been a bit of an adjustment for me. I actually start in my second facility tomorrow, starting back after almost a year and a half. So it's quite interesting. It's nice to have live feedback once again instead of checking comments, but it's also starting from scratch, basically starting over with my practice and teaching. So that's always a bit nerve-wracking. What I had planned to do today, and let me get in here so you can see me better. I have to switch between views to see. What I had planned to do today was Mantis Chases the Butterfly as the form. It's one of my favorites that I developed over the past year. I developed it last summer, and it has been, sometimes I have to review the forms that I've made before I reteach them if I haven't done them in a while, because I was putting out like a new form every month almost for instruction. And just sometimes I just have to see how I started them. So I did different starting with so many of them that I have to double check the forms before I teach them. But Mantis Chases the Butterfly is one that I've practiced so much that I don't. And it's really one of the ones I'm most proud of as far as being a personal form. It is great for core strength. It is great for balance. And it has a nice flow to it as well. So, and it has affected some of how I practice some of my other moves in other forms. So for that reason, also, really important to me. So before we get started with our class today, a couple things to keep in mind. Number one, if anything hurts, stop doing it, even if I tell you to. Number two, if you feel like you're about to lose your balance, stop what you're doing. Grab a hold of something, preferably not another person. If you can, maybe position yourself where you have a sturdy piece of furniture nearby if you know you're having a bad balance day, or if you're just not sure of your own balance. The other thing is make sure you have some water close by to stay hydrated during the forms. We do a lot of deep breathing and exhaling out through the mouth. So that is where you're going to lose a lot of moisture. So it's really important to keep hydrating yourself as you practice. The other thing is don't compare yourself to anybody but yourself. So these forms and exercises are really, you're not in competition with anybody else. All you're doing is trying to practice. And some days your practice is going to be perceived by yourself as I did that better, and other days it's not. Other days it's going to be more of a challenge. And the idea is to just show up and practice. By showing up and practicing, you basically are giving time and attention to your body and your mental state, and working more on that mind-body connection. All right, so those are the safety rules. If you're not sure if you should do a move or not, if you're been going to physical therapy, if you've had surgery in particular areas, be particularly mindful. And if you're not sure, don't do the move. It's better to be safe than sorry. Trust me on that. Also, with range of movements, go as far as you can comfortably go, and that means not pushing past your boundary, staying within, and maybe just slightly back from your range. A lot of the movements, people, they want to go to their full extension, and actually to do the moves properly, you don't want to do that. You don't want to have locked joints. You always want to have a slight bend. We want to go for round or elliptical movements with our forms, because that's better for our joints. And we want to take care of our joints all throughout our life. If we start early, then we have less problems down the line. So it took me a few years to get that, but I'm trying. I'm learning. Other things too, as far as just general housekeeping goes, this is part of my patron sponsorship. I'm able to do this because people donate to my channels through Patreon support, and that allows me to have time to do these live stream classes. As I accrue more followers and supporters, I will increase what I offer. So if you want to see more, make sure to share. If you can't support me on Patreon or send a donation, that's fine. Best way you can support me in that case is to like my videos, comment on them, share them, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon so you're notified whenever there's a new video posting. That really does help the channel, and then in turn helps me and helps spread my videos and get them in front of new faces who might be able to contribute and support me financially. So there are a lot of ways to support me. Even if all you do is just like and comment or share on social media, that is helping the channel and it's helping me. And I get to continue to do the work that I love to do. So with all that said, let's go ahead and get started and see how we're going. I'm going to see if we've got anybody. We do have a view. So I will consistently, every so often, check the comment section on the channel to make sure that there aren't any questions. If you have questions or you just want to say hello, put them in the comments thread. All right, so getting my water. Also, I hope that the audio is okay. This mic is temperamental sometimes, so. But let's go ahead and get started with our feet shoulder width apart. We're going to have a slight bend in the knees. I'm going to gently align the pelvis, the sternum, and the forehead. I'm trying to get so all of me is in frame. It's sometimes tricky. And as we breathe, we want to breathe in through the nose, down into the abdomen and down into lower dantian first, and then expand upwards to the chest, and then finally out through the mouth. So let's do that. Inhale. Filling up from the bottom to the top. So we're starting with the bottom of the lungs and diaphragm, and then working our way up. So if we've been under a lot of stress, we tend to breathe shallowly. We don't breathe deeply down. And this is a chance to reset a little bit. So again, breathe in. Now let's come into bear embraces the tree. So let's bring our hands to chest level. Relax the shoulders, drop the elbows. Again, I say relax the shoulders, but make sure you're not pronated forward, so bring them back a bit. Open up that chest. And just kind of, you could sit and jiggle a bit until you kind of sink. We want to sink our weight down through our feet, down into the ground. Sometimes it's easy to start with the heels and then gently spread that weight evenly through the foot. And then if you can imagine roots growing deep down into the earth. And again, keeping in mind that alignment of the pelvis, the sternum, and the forehead. You can tilt the pinkies in towards the chest as you tilt the thumbs gently away. As you sink your weight down, also see if you can extend and lengthen the spine while remaining relaxed. You'll often become aware where in the arms, shoulders, and neck that you're holding tension with this exercise. So a lot of, with particularly our standing practice or static forms like this, our mind will try to rest past. It will try to move through. We try to skip over a lot of our experiences, particularly when they're unpleasant. So when we slow down, we get to feel what we've been feeling but have just been keeping busy to avoid. That can happen. All right, so let's bring the hands down. Now we're just going to bring the hands up above. Take a slightly wider stance. You want to open up the chest, palms face up, and if you can, look up in between the hands while keeping the shoulders wide. Try not to let the butt push out. Try and keep that tailbone tucked in. If you're having trouble looking up, or if you're too tight, you can always just keep your head forward. Maybe turn the head from side to side as an alternative. But if you can, just try and see how that works. Is that working for you? And release. That's one movement out of the Baduan Jin, which is an 8-movement Shaolin Qigong practice, which I really like. And you can actually look that up online. There's pictures and everything. And also on YouTube, there's some videos on it, which have variations. But that is very nice because it opens up the chest. We tend to close the chest off. So it's good to open that. It allows us to breathe better, allows us to relax through here, and that's what we want. So let's bring our hands an inch or two below our navel now to Dantian, our center of gravity. And we're going to practice a basic weight shift. So as you exhale, roll Dantian over to one side, making a shallow arc with the hips, arcing gently back over the leg till you're centered over the foot. Then inhale, roll it back to the center. See how the weight equalizes between the two. Exhale, and now roll to the other side. Now as the weight comes over, notice how it empties out of the other leg. Inhale to the center. And exhale to the side. Inhale to the center. And exhale to the side. And again, this is a very simple movement. This is just to get us in the habit of being aware of how we shift our weight. The little shallow arc that we make really helps protect the knee joints from lateral stress. If we just went from side to side, just laterally, you're going to have a line of force that goes through the knee. So making this little arc is actually somewhat protective. And now as you come to one side, you're going to turn from the waist, pivot on the heel, and turn and look towards the wall. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, shift over, turn from the waist, pivot on the heel, and turn and look towards the other wall. Inhale as you come back to the center. So, you want to make sure you're completely shifted over before you begin the turn from the waist. The leg and then the heel just is traveling along. It's just on for the ride. And come back to center. All right. Now let's bring our hands in front. Curl your fingers over your thumbs, bend forward, and as you inhale, open the chest. Drive the shoulder blades back. As you come back in, you're going to make a hissing sound as you curl back in. Inhale and open. Exhale. 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 And come back to center. Take some deep breaths in and out. And now I'm going to move forward so I don't hit the wall here. Sorry if I've come with my feet are out of the frame. They're still in that shoulder width stance. Let's bring our arms out to our sides. Make an O with your fingers and your thumbs. Let your hands drop down. And just start to turn from the waist. Let the arms swing freely. Relax your shoulders. Relax your arms. Let the turning of the waist generate the movement. You really want to make this move relaxed. And my hands are just landing where momentum is allowing them to land. They're right around the tailbone and the front of the hips here. And now I'm going to come across the rib cage. And again, this is guided by the turn, not the arm. So I've just kind of angled up and with the hips as I turn. I've never really explained that. You know, this is, I have to turn slightly faster to get the hands to come up higher. Now, hopefully this next one won't knock the mic off, but you're going to slightly angle again to come across the chest. Here you're going to hit some lung points on the chest, so you might have to clear your throat. It happens. I know this is really loud with the mic being where it is. And now give yourselves a pat on the back. Now come back across the chest. Come back across the rib cage and come back down to the hips, the tailbone, and slowly come to a stop. Now, we're going to bend. As we do, we're going to slap the inside of the thighs as we come up, tap the pelvis. Waking up the legs now, bringing some blood flow through the pelvis area. All right. Now let's lift one arm, take the other hand, gently tap down from the armpit to the waist. Do a little lymphatic flush here, basically. And switch sides. Now feel for the collarbones. Come just below and gently tap. I'm tapping on the end point of the kidney meridian here, K27. And now come to the center of the sternum for the thymus thump. And now come just below the chest and then out to the side for the spleen thump. Now bring the hands in front. Get the tingling in the palms, up the arms, across the shoulders, down the spine, down through the legs. Bring your hands back down to Tien and breathe in. Okay. We're going to get ready to do our balance movement, which is play the pipa. A pipa is a stringed instrument. It's spelled P-I-P-A. You can look it up on YouTube if you want to hear what it sounds like. And it's one of the more challenging balance movements, I will say. So you're going to come over to here what we're going to do. I'm going to have my left foot kind of out at about a 45-degree angle. I'm going to have my right foot forward. And again, no more than shoulder width distance between the heels. My right hand's going to be on top and my left hand's going to be down below. Now as I inhale, I'm going to lift both my arms and my right leg up while staying upright in the spine and keeping the pelvis, the sternum, and the forehead aligned. Exhale to set the pipa down. Now you might not be able to get it very high, and if you can only lift a couple inches off, that's fine. Just make sure that you're staying lined up with the three centers so that you don't want to go back like this. It puts strain on the lower back, and you're also not building up the core and the leg muscles like you would if you just stay sort of in alignment. So inhale it, lift up to play the pipa, and exhale, set the pipa back down. Inhale and play the pipa. Exhale, set the pipa back down. Inhale and play the pipa, and exhale, set the pipa back down. I believe we did 4 on that side, so we'll do a 4 on the other side. Now I've got my right leg toed out, my left leg forward, just resting on the heel. Left hand above, right hand below. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to inhale, lift up to play the pipa. Exhale, set the pipa back down. Inhale, lift up to play the pipa. Exhale, set the pipa back down. Inhale and play the pipa. Keep those three centers aligned. And exhale, set the pipa back down one more time. Inhale and play the pipa. And exhale, set the pipa back down. All right. Take another sip before we get started with some Qigong exercises. We're going to start with, of course, a Qi raiser and then a Qi balancer. Let's check. Before I do that, I'm going to check to see if anybody has any questions or comments. Not so far, which means I'm either explaining myself very well or no one's watching. Okay. So our first move today is going to be pressing up heaven, pressing down earth. This is a simplified version of white crane presses up heaven, presses down earth, which is good for the sciatic. The reason we're not doing the full version is because it involves me turning kind of all the way around away from the camera, and it's just a lot for people to balance and their range. So we're just doing mostly a part of the arm movement. So we're going to start with our left hand up above, palm face up, our right hand at the tailbone, palm face down. Now as we exhale, we're going to press up and down, but we're going to keep a slight bend in both elbows so that we're not fully locked and extended. You'll get a better stretch in this if you are just slightly bent. So exhale, press up and down, look up at that top hand. Inhale, look forward and slowly circle the arms. Exhale, press up and down. Looking up at the top hand. Inhale as you look forward and circle the arms. Exhale. Press up and down. Inhale, circle the arms. And exhale. Press up and down. Inhale, circle the arms. And exhale, pressing up and down. Inhale, circle the arms, and exhale, pressing up and down. Inhale, circling, and exhale, pressing up and down. Inhale, circling, and exhale, pressing up and down. Exhale, press up and down. Inhale, circle the arms. And exhale, pressing up and down. One more time. Inhale, circle. And exhale, pressing up and down. All right, release. Check in, see how your body feels. It should feel good. This stretch should always you want to keep in that range where it feels good. If we do movements that feel good to us, we tend to be more prone to do them in the future. So we want to keep in that range where it's comfortable for us to do the movement. All right, now for our Qi balancer today, we're going to practice tornado arms. So a lot of people find this move challenging, and that's because it requires coordination. Basically, we're going to be creating we're going to be going outside and tracing the outside of a circle with our hands, the outer circumference, and then coming back the other way. Now what people find difficult is keeping that steady in the same size circle from side to side and keeping the shoulders relaxed as we move. So I'm going to start on my left side. So my left hand is on top, my right hand is down below. They're going to be sort of in the same plane but just below each other like this. As if, let me come up so you can kind of see. So it'd be kind of like this. So one's tracing over the top of the circle and the other is tracing just below it as if it's supporting it. So just keep that in mind so that you don't have this going on, you know, where you're going all over the place. And it's better if you kind of sometimes imagine an actual thing that you're tracing. I like to think of a pizza. So now, if you're starting with an extra large with everything on this side, you need to have that same size throughout the rotation. So it doesn't matter if you're doing a personal pizza or an extra large with everything. You just want to keep it consistent. So make your choices. Let's start on our left sides, and as we inhale towards the center, we're going to trace the outer circumference of that circle, of that pizza maybe. Exhale as we come to the side. Now as we get to the side, the hands are going to flip over, and now we're going to trace the circle going the other way. And once again, the hands turn over. Inhale as you trace the circle coming across the center line, and exhale to the side. Turn over, inhale, tracing the circle, relax the shoulders, and exhale to the side. Now one of the things we can do to add to this movement is we can actually add a turn from the waist. So we're using that twisted weight shift as we inhale, come back to the center, shift over, exhale, to the side, inhale, circle back, exhale, to the side, relax the shoulders, inhale, and exhale. This movement is simple but very difficult to do. There's a lot of moving parts. You want to make sure both hands are moving at the same rate. Inhale. And exhale. Relax your shoulders. We're actually asking our brain to do a lot with this as we cross the center line. And come to the side, inhale. Circling, shifting over, and exhaling to the side. Put your awareness between your hands. Really picture that circle. And when you do that, when you move your awareness down, it becomes easier to keep those shoulders down. What's nice about that is all the concentration it takes can really get you out of your head. Now let's come back to center. Shake out a little in case your shoulders got a little tense during that. It happens to the best of us. Maybe take another sip before we get started with our form, Mantis Chases the Butterfly. As I said, this is one of my favorites that I created. I think it's kind of tied with the wave washes the shore. I really like that mini form too. And this is really a mini form. It's not truly a whole form. It's almost like a very complicated Qigong. Although it does use some of the movements out of other forms, as well as some that aren't in forms that I already knew. So let's go ahead. I'm going to check comments before we go. Make sure everyone can hear me properly. See if I always check that. All right. Looks like we're good. So I'm going to go through the form once, and then I'm going to break it down for you. So I'm just going to do one round, basically. So both the opening, both sides, and then the closing. Okay, so what's going on with this is we start, in our Wu Qi posture of that feet shoulder width apart, slight bend in the knees. The opening move is 3 inhalations and exhalations of us. So we inhale, the arms expand out, and then exhale, we're gathering and focusing Qi into lower Dantian. We do that 3 times. So let's go ahead and do that. Inhale. Gathering Qi up and exhale. Focusing it in towards Dantian. Again, inhale. And exhale. Focusing into Dantian. Inhale. And exhale. Now from here, we're going to shift our weight to our right, come and hold the ball. Step now to the left heel. Right hand goes behind the left, and exhale, press forward. We're making a butterfly shape with the hands, hence the name of the form. That's the butterfly that the mantis is chasing. As we get here, we're not going to really press beyond the toes. So you can see I still have quite a bit of a bend in both elbows. And we're going to inhale, drop down, shift back to the right leg. And then inhale, right hand comes up and pulls that left leg back. And then exhale, there's a hand change where the left hand is now on top. We're now back on the right leg, and as we inhale, we're going to lift up to play the pipa. Aha, that's why we practice that move. And exhale, set the pipa back down. Now as we inhale, we're going to rise and come up with the wrist, making little pinchers. That's the mantis. As we inhale, we're going to rise and rock forward onto that left leg. And then exhale, come back in close. We're not really, we rose something somewhat, but now we're just kind of rocking back and bringing the arms back around, heart level. Now, that was our exhale. As we inhale, we're going to now wipe the brow and turn in with that left leg. Circle around to hold the ball. We're now on that empty right leg. So we're able to turn that and exhale. Press forward with the hands with the butterfly. Now inhale and roll back. Pull back with the left. As if you're pulling on a string and pulling that right foot in. Exhale. The hands shift position. And now inhale, lift that right leg up to play the pipa. And then exhale, set the pipa back down. Inhale, rise up slightly and come into the mantis rises. Exhale, roll back. Come in with the arms for the mantis falls, or the mantis sinks, depending. Inhale, wipe the brow, turn in on the right. Circle the arms into ball holding, step to the left heel, and exhale, press forward for the butterfly. Inhale, roll back, pull that foot back with the right. Exhale, switch the hands for the hand change. So the left is on top, the right below. Inhale, lift up the left leg to play the pipa. And exhale, set the pipa back down. Inhale, roll forward for the mantis rises. Exhale, roll back, the mantis sinks. Inhale and wipe the brow. Hold the ball, step to the right heel. Exhale and press forward for the butterfly. Inhale, roll back, pull in. Exhale, change the hand position. Inhale, lift up the right leg to play the pipa. And exhale, set the pipa back down. Inhale, roll forward, the mantis rises. Exhale, the mantis sinks. Inhale and wipe the brow. Hold the ball. Step to the left heel. Exhale and press forward for the butterfly. Inhale. Pull back. Exhale. Hand change. Inhale, lift up to play the pipa. Exhale. Set the pipa back down. Inhale, roll forward. Mantis rises. Exhale, sink back. The mantis sinks. Inhale, wipe the brow. And hold the ball. Step to the right heel. Exhale, press forward for the butterfly. Inhale, roll back and pull that leg back. Exhale, hand change. Inhale, lift the right leg up for play the pipa. Exhale, set the pipa back down. Inhale, roll forward, the mantis rises. Exhale, the mantis sinks. We could call this the mantis chases, and then the mantis catches if we wanted to. Sounds cooler. Inhale, wipe the brow. Hold the ball. Step to the heel. Exhale, press forward for the butterfly. Inhale, roll back and pull that leg in. Exhale, hand change. Inhale, lift up to play the pipa. Exhale, set the pipa back down. Inhale, roll forward for the mantis chases. Exhale, sink back, the mantis catches. Inhale, wipe the brow. Hold the ball. Step to the right heel. Exhale, press forward. The butterfly. Inhale, roll back and pull back. Exhale. Hand change. Inhale, lift up to play the pipa. Exhale, set the pipa down. Inhale, the mantis chases. Exhale, come back, the mantis catches. Inhale, wipe the brow. Hold the ball. Exhale, the butterfly. Inhale, roll back, pull in. Exhale, hand change. Inhale, lift the leg and the arms for play the pipa. Exhale, set the pipa down. Inhale, roll forward for the mantis rises. Exhale, the mantis sinks. Wipe the brow. Hold the ball. Step to the heel and exhale. Press forward. The butterfly. Inhale. Roll back. Pull in. Exhale. Hand change. Inhale. Lift up to play the pipa. And exhale. Set the pipa down. Inhale. Roll forward. The mantis chases. Exhale. The mantis catches. Inhale. Wipe the brow. Hold the ball. Step to the left heel. Exhale. The butterfly. Inhale. Pull back. Exhale. Hand change. Inhale. Play the pipa. Exhale. Inhale. The mantis chases. Exhale. The mantis catches. Wipe the brow. Hold the ball. Exhale. Pressing the butterfly. Pulling back. Exhale. Hand change. Inhale. Play the pipa. Exhale. Inhale. Mantis chases. Exhale. The mantis catches. I'm going to move back just slightly. Let's go slow for this last round. Wiping the brow. Holding the ball. Butterfly. Pulling back. Hand change. Play the pipa. mantis chases. The mantis catches. Wiping the brow. Holding the ball. Butterfly. Pulling back. Hand change. Play the pipa. Mantis chases. Mantis sinks or mantis catches. And now we're going to come back to our closing by wiping the brow. This time with both sides, and bring the hands back down. And again, inhale, expanding, gathering chi. Exhale, focusing into Dantian. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's check in with our bodies for a minute and take a sip. We're going to start a cool down here in a minute. I'm going to check comments, see if we have any questions. And if not, we'll scooch on forward. We're good. Let me see though. Double checking. Whew. So, one thing about this is mantis chases the butterfly is a really challenging movement because of the play the pipa on both sides, and that is like right in the center of that form. So it is really challenging our balance. It's really challenging the strength in our legs and our core. And as you slow that down, it becomes even more challenging. So it might be something that you have to build up to. And like I said early on with Play the Pipa, you might just be doing this as your Play the Pipa for a bit. And I'd prefer you do something like a very small movement, but be in better alignment so that you're still building balance at least, and you are still recruiting strength from your legs and your core. Because, you know, coming up to here, it does require a bit more strength and a bit more balance and a bit more core strength too. But you're also more likely to bend back or be out of alignment. I always notice that my head seems to be forward. So I'm always doing things to try to open this up and get that head back and make sure that those three centers, you know, pelvis, sternum, forehead, or these three dantians, because I say this is dantian or bring into dantian, but there are three in the body. There's lower dantian where our center of gravity is. There's middle dantian at the heart level in the center of the chest. I know that's not where your physical heart is, it's off to the side, but at the same level as the heart is, but just in the center. And then we've got the forehead as the third dantian, and each of those in Qigong and traditional Chinese medicine have particular qualities, but they all are repositories for Qi. Different things happen. This lower dantian, besides being our center of gravity, is what's called the sea of Qi. And it's the seat a lot of what we get genetically from we inherit from our mothers particularly, but also our fathers, and ancestry, what's called our Jing. This is really strong, vital energy. When you run out of Jing, it's pretty much you're out. It's time to exit the stage. Center, the middle dantian is more associated with qi. That's the stuff we bring in from the outside, also through cultivating our habits, through our breath, through our water, through our food, through our attitudes, all of these things. And the more we can run off of our qi and cultivate and save our jing and store qi down here that we use, the better we'll feel. And then the third one up here is shen, and that's where we get into the more alchemy of qigong, and where we transform into the more spiritualized or virtues. So, but we can't start up here. We have to start down here by being present, being in our bodies, and finding a way to work with them. So, that said, we're going to start our cool down now. It's not going to be a real long one because we spent a good time practicing the form, which is good. But we are going to place our hands on our lower back, and we're going to just do a couple waist circles. And then we're going to switch directions. All right, and now let's draw a circle with the chin. You'll probably hear some snapping, crackling, and popping. Let's reverse directions. Draw the circle the other way. Oh yeah. And now we're going to do some teacup circling. And I need to make a separate video on here. When I do, there'll be a card on here later. But we're going to have our palm face up, chest level, out in front. And we're going to imagine we have a cup filled with tea, and we're going to try to not spill our tea as we move our hand around. You'll see why we only use imaginary cups in a second. So we're going to take the hand back, turn the wrist out, bring it wide back over the head, and then back around to the front. To catch that, let's take it back, open the wrist wide, go out around the head, and back to the front. Let's do that one more time. Take the hand back, open it wide, back over the head and to the chest, and shake that wrist out. Now we're going to do that coming from the other direction. So we're going to have our palm face up, but it's going to be behind our back, like so. And we're going to present the hand forward. Take it wide forward over the head, and then swing it back to the back. So hand comes forward, arm goes wide, wrist in, elbow up, and circle back to the back. One more time. Hand forward, arm wide, wrist forward over the head, and back to the back. And shake that one out. I think that was 3 both ways. Now, other side, other hand. We're going to do both sides of the body. Same thing. Palm in the front at the chest. Take the wrist back, open it wide, bring it back over the head, and back to the chest. Now, take the hand back, open it wide, back over the head, and back to the chest. One more time. Hand goes back, arm wide, circle back over the head, and back to the back. Shake it out a little bit. Now bring it to the back. Present the hand forward, take it wide, wrist goes in, elbow up as you circle forward over the head, and then back to the back. Hand forward, arm wide, wrist in, elbow up, and back to the back. One more time. Hand forward, arm wide, wrist in, elbow up, and back to the back. And shake that one out. All right. Last standing move we're going to do for the day. Okay. So. Ooh. Can't believe it. Uh, make sure you're in the Wu Chi posture. If you haven't been, might readjust feet shoulder width apart. Slight bend in the knees, aligning the three dantians, pelvis, sternum, forehead. And as you inhale, let the arms rise on the breath. Exhale. And let them sink down. This is silk sheets. Inhale up. And exhale. Down. Inhale up. Exhale. Down. All right, let's grab a chair and we'll finish up with a seated Qigong. Now that I'm not moving around in here, I have to turn the heat on in here because somebody in the building keeps putting the thermostat way down, and there's actually condensation on the outside of my pitcher here, which means it's like refrigerator temperatures in here. So when I'm moving, it's not a problem. But when I'm not, I get cold really quick. So as you sit, I don't quite have my back to the back of the chair, and I'm trying to keep a similar, seated stance, as it were, where I'm spread evenly, as it were, and got my feet about shoulder width apart on the floor, flat. If you have something like a balance ball, you can use that because it forces you to sit upright and correct, otherwise you roll off. But you don't have to have that. You can use a chair, but preferably one with no arms on it so that you're not, to the side. And you want to gently align the pelvis, the sternum, and the forehead. You don't want to be Egyptian statue rigid, but you also don't want to slump. So you're just lightly holding yourself up with your core. So I talked a lot about the three dantians today, so we're going to do a variation of the golden breath, where we fill all three dantians with golden light, and as we exhale, we're going to allow that light to spread throughout the body and the area around the body as well, to sort of sheath us into this nice sort of protective egg. So go ahead and close your eyes. As you inhale, fill all three dantians with warm golden light. And exhale. Allow the light to spread throughout the body. Inhaling golden light in. And exhale. Allowing the light to spread. Inhaling golden light into the three dantians. Exhaling, allow it to spread throughout and around the body. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhale. Slowly allow that image to fade, and when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Bring your left hand palm face up. Inhale, circle in towards the chest, down and around. Exhale, bring it in towards the heart. Thank you so much for joining me today for my class. Again, if you're interested in supporting me, you can do that on Patreon, or you can leave a one-time donation down below with PayPal. Make sure if you haven't subscribed already, you do so and you click the bell icon so that you're notified whenever I put up a new video. You can also check out my other channel, which is aimed toward more metaphysical healing and topics of that nature. There's links all below to that, and I believe also to my book, my meditation album, and my website. All of that should be linked somewhere down below. I do appreciate you spending your time with me, and until next time, peace and blessings.